Are you struggling right now? Are you actually going through it? Are you struggling? Are you being triggered? Are you being tested? If you are, stick with me, I got you. Planet Saturn is gone retrograde from June 30th to I think November, December. I'll put it in the description to be precise. What is Saturn? What does it represent? Saturn is a planet of limitations, discipline, goals, structure, fears, karma. Okay? By it being retrograde, there's an emphasis on these things. What does it have to do with shadow work? Now, since the planet is in retrograde for the entire world, then that means everyone has to work on shadow. Okay? There's no one getting out of it. Now, you know, different times of our life we get triggered to go through our ascension and our spiritual awakening, and shadow work comes in. You know, dark nights of the soul, healing trauma, all of, you know, the shadow work, all of these things, right? Because we're in a state that we're in, as far as the whole planet being in retrograde, the whole Earth being in Saturn retrograde, that means that if you had been running away from it, then you can't anymore. So, what does this look like? What does the shadow represent? Shadow represents the hidden aspects of the self, the aspects that you don't know that exist. Before I went on my shamanic journey, I didn't even know I had a shadow. I didn't know what a shadow was. I didn't know what shadow work was. I was just holier than thou, righteous over much, you know, goody two-shoes person, you know, thinking, you know, this toxic spirituality, love and light and all of that. No. Shadow represents the subconscious as well. Now, I have 4 things that will help you do better shadow work and help you to succeed, you know, even more so in doing your shadow work. But I want to add some things that other people might not mention that has to do with shadow work. And I'm going to put myself on the line and I'll give you my experience. Now, this is not an easy topic because, you know, it's uncomfortable. It's dark. It gets dark. So the topic that I'm talking about is intrusive thoughts and how that plays into shadow work. Because when I started my shamanic journey, I've always had, not always, but I've had intrusive thoughts over your lifetime. You have them here and there. But I did not know why. The reason why we have intrusive thoughts, one, is thought forms from different places, just the realm, different energies, the vibrations of different things. 2 is your own hidden things in your subconscious, your fears. And 3 is because of past lives, karma, and the things that you've done that you're not even aware that you've done. Okay, this might have a part 2. I'll have to get into it because I'm here to be liberated and to help liberate. So I'm telling you all the secrets, telling you all the things. Okay, I just had intrusive thoughts. And what are intrusive thoughts? Let's just go there. Intrusive thoughts are thoughts that are not you. Deviant thoughts, sexual thoughts, pedophilia thoughts, killing people thoughts, strangling people, anything that's like dark that you think a killer or a rapist or whatever will have that you might have that is not you, those are intrusive thoughts. Or to jump off a cliff or whatever. That's just a small amount of examples. But if you have those, it's okay. You're not crazy. They're just intrusive thoughts. And by you working on your shadow side, it can help alleviate them. Okay, one of the first things you can do to work on shadow, like an intensive work on shadow, is first, the number one thing you got to do first is not to judge yourself. That's number 1. Not judge yourself and to be patient with yourself. That's like part 1A, like / not judging yourself and being patient. The reason why you have to do this is because when we have aspects of ourselves that's dark, like the shadow diving and the shadow work that comes up, they're triggered from things that you might go through with people. You know, traumas, fights, arguments, anxiety, you know, depression, things that are the dark aspect or the hidden or the aspect of yourself that's not like happy and, you know, healed and all of that. These things help make you go deep inside of yourself and your psyche to work on and say to yourself, why am I feeling this? Why am I thinking this? Why am I experiencing this? Okay. That is like the beginning of shadow work, is to be self-aware, to acknowledge these things, to go dive in them, explore them, and then to work through them, to transmute them into helpful things, into love, into light, into, you know, and sometimes, you know, the shadow has to be just acknowledged because we have this yin and yang, it's light and dark. We're not just all one being. Okay. Number 2 is to trust. You have to trust yourself enough that you're going to allow your ego, allow your heart, because shadow work is a heart activity. You have to be open enough to accept these things about yourself. Open your heart enough to love yourself unconditionally, to accept these things and to work on them. Okay. No matter what anybody says, shadow work is a heart chakra activity. Okay. You trust yourself. You trust that you know what you're doing. Okay. You put your ego aside and you dive into it. All right. Number 3, surrender. Whatever it looks like. Whatever it looks like. It could be dark night of the soul in the void. The void is like when you just in a stupor, you feeling like crap, you done cried yourself, you're for hours or days, you depress you down. That's the void, when you don't want to feel, you're numb. Okay. But that's the dark night of the soul aspect. Okay. That happens with shadow work. Okay. You surrender to that process. You know, people aren't, especially men, they're not able to cry and to release and to feel and to be emotional, and sometimes women too. So we have to allow ourselves to feel, to be in this pain, to be in this not trauma, but be in these feelings, and be self-aware that we can work through it, process it, respect your pain process. Okay, in order so you can work through it and transmute it. All right. And number 4, which is the easiest out of all, is the reward, is to flow. When you've done all the work in shadow work, okay, the flow is what happens when you've done the work and you start to allow yourself to blossom and bloom through it. Like a seed is in the soil, and it's like, you know, it's impacted. And it's dark, you know, it's dark down there, but it's growing, it's fruiting, okay? When you've done this shadow work, you start to bloom and you break through that soil. And you start to blossom and bloom and turn into a fruit, a vegetable, a flower. And that's the beautiful part of it, okay? 1, not judging yourself, being patient with yourself. 2, trusting yourself, trusting the process. 3, surrendering to it, allowing it, doing it, whatever it may look like. It could be ugly, it could be whatever. And then flowing, that's the reward, that's the beauty of it. And if you saw my short Harpy, was a card I pull out. I'll probably put a card reading out of the Oracle deck, the Shadow Work Oracle deck. But this is very important, you guys, to get. If you can get your hands on some carborundum crystal, this is a crystal for all the chakras. So wherever your shadow work needs to be really worked on, that aligns with all the chakras. That is for protection as well. Okay, that's for protection. That helps all the chakras. So when you're doing shadow work, there's different chakras that you're going to be working on. You might have to work on all of them, but that's going to target all of them. It's like a all-in-one. Okay, because the time we're living in, we're going to have to really, really have worked on ourselves spiritually to be able to hold space and be okay and be prosperous and thriving in this system, because while shit is falling apart and breaking down, guess what we're doing? We're breaking through. Okay? If you need any help, assistance, please let me know. I appreciate all the support and love. It's been phenomenal. Leave a comment if you have experience with this, you have any tips. If I miss anything, visit our website, mysticalchemy.com. If you want to read in Vedic astrology, reading any energy work, we have our where is it? We have our organites. This helps balance your energy as well. The organites with the metals, the crushed metals and crystals. It alleviates negative frequency and vibrations and Wi-Fi, and it produces things too. So yeah, I hope this helps. I love you. Thank you so much. And like, mwah.